Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Western North Carolina fishing report with Dale Collins of Tuckaseegee Fly Shop. How's it going this evening, Dale?
Going good, Marvin. Watching it rain. Seems to be a common theme here this February in Western North Carolina.
Yeah, as Led Zeppelin says, the song remains the same.
Yeah, with a little snow at the end. And then it's all good.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to get chilly towards the end of this week, and you're going to get a little snow, and then it's going to warm up, but you're going to get some rain. What are you guys seeing in terms of upper elevation and lower elevation stream impacts?
Yeah, you got old wives' tales of how spring's here, and the turkeys are strutting, the robins are out. Another indicator for us is the roller coaster of weather. So. Just recently was hiking on a high elevation brook trout stream, and the brook trout were active, and I was really mad that I didn't have my rod with me. It was 64 in the valley floor and 55 air temp up on the trail, about 1,000 feet above the valley, and the fish were active. So the water was crystal clear. There was plenty of water, but it wasn't anything dangerous. It was, just a little bit higher than what it normally should be. But, you catch days like, on the backside of these fronts that come through, and those high elevation waters have cleared and it's safe to be in there. Then you can get into some good stuff on the high elevation. And then when that cold snap comes, you can go back down the valley and fish some of the warmer waters. So you just kind of go with the roller coaster and play the temperature game to your advantage.
So what's the tuck looking like then?
Just as soon as the Tuckaseegee starts looking normal again, with a visibility of 36 to 48 inches, everything's getting back to normal. These fronts come through and kind of get it turbid again. So, currently there's a front passing through. It's, I think, maybe going to dump about 3/4 of an inch total. And so it'll be out of commission for a couple days. But the biggest impact on the Tuckaseegee right now is Duke Energy. With their maintenance schedule, they're cranking the East Fork just pretty much around the clock as this rain comes through, because they have to keep the lake at a certain level to work on some gates and spillways. So that's probably the greatest impact on top of the weather is just their maintenance. But if you've got a personal drift boat, then by all means get out there on it. But when it's running 1,000 CFS cubic feet per second on the Cullowhee gauge, you need to just stay away from waiting. And then in Bryson City, the same thing. When it's running 4,000 to 6,000, then you probably need to just either be on a boat or go wade Deep Creek or the Oconaluftee.
Got it. And I assume the game too is as the water drops, right, throwing streamers to the banks and probably fishing heavier stuff on the edges.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. And this time of year, I like to do that just to try to find fish too. So even on days that might be bluebird skies, I'll toss some streamers just to try to locate where some fish are hanging, and to see what the high water has done to the fish, because it can move them. So you sort of want to throw some locating patterns and if nothing else, get some chases and follows, just to pull them out of hiding and find where they're sitting.
Got it. And Jonathan, who is asked quite a few questions on the fishing report, we really appreciate him, had a question for you, which is really just kind of boiling all this down to talk about, what rising water does to fish, where do they go, and how do they behave? Yeah,
great question. When the water first rises, there's going to be a flurry of activity because it's going to be a temperature change. So if it's warmer water, then it's going to key a hatch, and the fish it's going to be fantastic. And then it's going to stabilize and maybe become too hard for the fish to hold. So the fish will hunker down. They'll go to the bank, find some bank eddies. They'll find some rock eddies. And, in deeper water, let's say like the Tuckaseegee in Bryson City, you can have holes that are on a low water day, 10 feet. And then you add, a large volume of water coming down to make it maybe, let's say, 14 feet, there could be 3 different currents in that water column that fish could hold easily without necessarily being on a rock. So that's the unknown. Like, you can't see those currents. But typically they're going to push to the bank, or sit tight with that nose right on those rocks. And you sort of have to think about when you've been at Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's or whatever it is now, where they got the waterfalls, or any aquarium for that matter. You see a waterfall coming into the aquarium, and it's turbulence for like 18 inches of the water, and then it's flat calm under that turbulence. And there's usually a bass in the aquarium sitting right under that turbulence, and they're in calm water. So that there's all kinds of things going on under the water that we can't see, with the microcurrents and how these rocks create eddies, and those fish can sit in there and they can just ride it out. And then when it's over, they're going to get hungry. So we saw that yesterday on Deep Creek. The Browns yesterday on Deep Creek, several folks in the shop reporting just an incredible dry fly day. So that's kind of what happens on the backside. So it's always better to fish it coming up than going down, just as there's more food in the initial column of water coming to the fish, and the fish are going to respond well to it. But yeah, really good question. Hope all that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess too, the good news is we're almost at the end of February. So in about 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to be just awesome good.
Oh yeah. And the water temperatures, they're just going to keep getting better. We saw, today, Catalucci was at 43-degree water temp, and I looked and our air temp was 42. So, that is a benefit of this rain, as it does in this time of year warm the water. But those smaller creeks are going to mimic that air temperature. So, for example, that trail that I was hiking on, that brook trout stream, that water temp was probably mimicking the air, and that explains why those fish in the high elevation were so active. So, you just kind of have to let the weather forecast work to your advantage for sure.
Yeah, and folks, keep the questions coming. Remember, if we read your question, I'll send you some articulate fly swag, and you'll get entered into a drawing for some goodies from the Tuckaseegee Fly Shop. Before I let you go, Dale, why don't you let folks know where they can find the shops, when you're open, and how to find you on the internet?
Absolutely. So we're located in downtown Bryson City, 3 Depot Street. We've got a big brown trout statue right on the corner, and a fantastic coffee shop with Mountain Perch right next to us. Downtown Silva, we are bookended by a couple bookshops on either side of us. Downtown on Main Street, 530 West Main Street, just right under that beautiful courthouse that overlooks town. And then on the web, tuckflyshop.com, and social media, also Tuck Fly Shop. So, yeah, man, we're out there.
Well, that's great. Well, listen, folks, get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Dale.
You too, Marvin.